Trade recap for July 31st. We had a W today. This week has been crazy. Pretty much just a break-even week. Had 2 wins, 2 losses this week. So can't complain, but price action has definitely been a little bit crazy. There's a lot to go over today. We saw some very interesting price action. I was very patient. Once again, though, if you have not watched the pre-market analysis, watch that first and then come back to watch this. Yeah. Where do we start? So I told you guys in pre-market analysis that this high was not to be slept on. This 1 hour internal high right here was not to be slept on because of what came out of it. And it held the market like crazy. It just sucked. It did not give an entry. I would have been willing to possibly take a 30-second here or something, but there was nothing there. Nothing that was giving me strong enough structure, nothing that was giving me a good inverse. There wasn't even an inverse period. So I saw this reach this and completely reject market with no retracement until we reach this 4 hour for value gap. At this 4 hour gap, I did have a trade idea to trade into this 5 minute gap right here. But once again, did not get an entry that I liked. I was looking at no, I wasn't looking at anything. Yeah, that's right. So there was no fair value gap in here. The lowest time frame I'll take an entry is a 30-second. There was nothing in here that made me feel good about it. The 1 minute was about to open here, but then it shot up before it closed and didn't create the fair value gap for an inverse. Now, a lot of people probably took this change in state delivery. Could have been an easy break even. For me, it just wasn't worth my trade. I knew it was going to be a break even most likely. But this 4 hour gap did hold for a little bit. Not anything super crazy, especially because of how weak the tap was. I was expecting us to want to reclaim that low. But we did definitely push a lot lower than just that low. So the reason why I took this trade is because of the gap we filled on ES. We reached this second fair value gap that is in a pretty good discount of the range here. And I saw that this 4 hour LFVG was very much far away on ES. We were definitely getting closer to it on NASDAQ, but I didn't feel like it was I didn't think that it was built up enough to be able to send straight to there. I definitely expected a retracement before then. So with this 4 hour gap, seeing these rejection wicks happening over and over again, we were resweeping these lows here. A little bit of an accumulation, manipulation to those low here and distribution type of trade. But yeah, this 4 hour sponsorship, easy 5 minute break even and target. I just felt very good about it. We took this 30-second inversion right here. Let me put that on there. This 30-second inversion that was created and respected. So once we re-interact with that fair value gap and inverse it, after we've already gotten a rejection, that's a very good sign with this proper structure here that we are going to return to this 5 minute fair value gap. I was thinking about targeting the second 5 minute gap, but I really just was like looking at the overall price action of these very strong bearish moves that we've been continuing. And I didn't want to play around with that. I'm glad I didn't. But I went break even at the 5 minute gap here. It edged my break even, like edged it, and then we got TP on it. Just for a quick 1-to-1 piece of the pie and get off of it. Today was definitely interesting. But yeah, do not sleep on the 1 hour internal highs, especially at the top of keys. What I mean by that is within here, there's a lot of 1 hour internal highs, whatever. But the first fair value gap that's respected and rejected from specifically is a very strong 1 hour internal high. Do not sleep on that high. I definitely expected us though to want to seek the daily internal high eventually. I thought we were going to hit this, have a good reaction to a 15, maybe 30 minute, and then pull back higher. No, it completely sent us into our 4 hour gaps. But very good draws on liquidity, very good liquidity overall, with what was being respected, with very obvious targets of where price wanted to go for the day. So yeah, that is it. Pretty much a break-even week. This was I think I'm like barely red on the week because I had one day where it was a little bit over risk. This was my first, and it's barely red, but this is my first red week in 3 months, which I'm not too disappointed about. Price action has been crazy. War news has been escalating, but honestly, it's a user error. I need to be able to step aside and be like, yo, these trades that usually I could take and I could get by with aren't going to get by in this market right now. So I have to be able to be aware of that, step back as a trader and reevaluate where I'm at, wait for a lot more obvious setups, which is kind of what I did today. There were some setups that were a lot more discretionary that I could have taken. I just didn't feel good about that. Just wait for the obvious stuff, especially during war news and escalated political events, all the type of stuff. But yeah, that's it for the day. I will catch you guys on Monday. Peace out. God bless.